It's Radio BDC and BDC Wire broadcasting for Boston Calling, day number 3, and we bring back a tradition that we started last year. It's
Time-honored.
The second annual Radio BDC Wire beer tasting. So we're taking the beers that they have here featured at Boston Calling. We have our expert, Juliana, here. And why don't you tell everybody what you do for a living, because you have one of the greatest jobs.
All right, well, you know, I do a lot of research, and research involves drinking and writing about it, so pretty badass job description if I do say so myself.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm doing Boston coverage for AmericanCraftBeer.com. We've got correspondents all across the country, Denver, New York, Florida, all doing research, all enjoying ourselves. Great gig.
Well, it's great to have you back. We also have Chris Rattey, who got up and walked away for some reason when I was going to intro him. Welcome back, Rattey.
Hey, it's good to see you guys.
Chris Rattey just likes beer. That's why he's here for
beer.
the second annual beer tasting. We have treats, it looks like.
Well, we
here.
do. Well, last year, you remember that we had to cleanse our palate. We did so with Twinkies because that's what we had on hand. So you got to figure, since this is a time-honored tradition, we should have sweets to cleanse the palate. So we've got some brownie chunks here.
Very important.
And
Well-
I'm really excited for, the beer menu today or throughout the festival has been Sam Adams. And it's a big year for Sammy, right? So
Oh, yeah, 30 years.
30.
To the day almost. 1984, they discovered the recipe for Boston Lager in an attic, and a year later, Boston Lager became the best beer in America according to the Great American Beer Festival. So good stuff.
really, 1 year later,
Yeah,
1985.
I think it was a couple of weeks after Patriots Day. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
I didn't know that either.
Well, shall we kick it off?
Yeah, that's what we'll
Where
start
are we going
with.
to start and then go from there?
So I'd say we kick it off with the traditional Boston Lager, their flagship beer. Why not go where it began?
Here you go. Thank you, sir.
And I do recall Juliana telling me that I had a dead palate last year.
Yes.
I've been working on
Old Man Rattey with the dead
I
palate.
would deny it if it wasn't on film.
I've been working on the palate, trying to restore its zealous. So let's see if I've improved this year.
Well, you know what? You have impressed me with when we've gone out for beers.
Yeah.
You ventured into the Belgian beer world where,
That's
drinking
why.
a lot of St. Bernardus.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I love the Belgian style now. I've sort of gone from the IPA into the Belgian style now, so that's sort of my go-to. What about, before we dive in, what is sort of the hottest flavor right now, or the hottest style?
IPAs are still killing it.
Still killing it.
Shandies are really big for the summer, but year-round IPAs still killing it. Hops, big draw for any beer festival. I'm gonna say sours are probably the next big thing. They're kind of picking up speed in the West Coast, and we're probably gonna see them a little later on in 2014.
It's interesting. I was in Everett recently and went to the Night Shift Brewery, the new one that they're opening up, and you've got all these small breweries that are around here that, I don't know if they're undiscovered or what. From your perspective,
I'm trying to help you.
Yeah, you're trying to help. So really, what from that local perspective, what are some of the great places to stop in? Give me your top 3 from a local perspective, if you could.
The thing is with Boston, a lot of these brewers are brewing out of different facilities where it's not their own space.
Yeah,
They're not
Mercury's
allowed
a
to
big
do-
one, right? Mercury's
Right,
big.
so you can't really have a tap room or a tasting room if it's not your place. So there are a very limited amount of places you can visit for tastings. But I would say Trillium in Fort Point, amazing small business. This couple's just been running it for about a year and a half. Just beautiful beers. You can try them out at Mead Hall. I think Public House has it too.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're everything's phenomenal. I've never had a bad Trillium beer. So you can actually go visit. You can try it out. You can take a growler to go. Awesome. Mystic out in Chelsea is great too. Go visit them. I know Bantam Cider just opened up their own tasting room in Somerville. So
I saw that on Chronicle, actually.
yeah. So those are great weekend spots to go visit. Take some friends, have a good
Excellent.
time.
All right. You don't have to kick me. We'll drink beer.
I
Seriously.
just need you. I'm sorry.
Gosh.
Well, I think we start off with the traditional. Well,
Yeah.
you already picked that we're starting off with this. Cheers.
Juliana. All right. The lager.
It never
Tastes like it
gets
did
old.
30 years ago.
Never gets old. I think this was the second beer I ever had, too, in my life. So
That's amazing.
The second beer you ever had in your life was a Sam Adams.
So it's
Yeah.
great
Boston
as this
Lager?
is a gateway beer if you're not sure you want to transfer from Bud Light to full-bodied craft IPAs. You know, you have this. It's medium-bodied. It's not going to hit you in the face with any sort of flavor. It's just very well balanced.
Sure. Absolutely.
never gets old. It's like
know,
like consistently good.
And look who's visiting back here. Look who's visiting us.
Oh, hey,
He's here
what's up,
just
buddy?
to say hello.
He's dancing the Kurt Vile too.
Sam himself was very proud day indeed. You know, I've sort of ventured away from the Boston Lager. You know, once you start going down they have so many flavors, right? I mean, the flavors that they provide are sort of endless, and they've really done that. Have they done that more recently too? Expanded sort of their stylings and their flavors.
Oh,
I feel
definitely. They've got like cherry wheats and all these barrel series that they're doing. They definitely are like expanding out. I saw a ginger one that was really good. So yeah, I think any craft brewery is going to establish themselves with 4 or 5 flagship beers and then keep going with
going out.
seasonals. So you want to take a bite of this?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna
brownie?
keep it consistent. I didn't do the palate cleansing last year.
Quite a cube. I don't know. I'm just going to nibble it.
Nibble on the cube. Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Pretty good.
All
I
right.
mean, it's no Twinkie, but
I'm saving it for after the cider.
okay.
All right, so now we're going on to the next. I would say, would the flagship seasonal? Would you call that this the flagship seasonal?
It's always interesting to see when they rotate from winter to spring to summer, because usually it's like a few months before you think it's going to be, but they just want to stock it before the demand hits.
It's funny you say that. So when I go to my local place where I buy beer, and I walk in and I see that they have Sam Summer stocked, it's usually like, I don't know, like March or April.
Yeah.
But I see it and I'm like, yes, summer is almost
here.
Summer is coming.
It's like a beacon.
Where it's like I get excited because the beer's there, but I also like get excited because I'm like, oh great, this winter is almost over.
Yeah, I mean, it's been around for a while. My
Yeah.
wife and I started dating back in like 99, was it 1999? We organized this dinner in January, and I said, all right, I'm going to bring over some food. You know, what kind of beer you like, she asked. I'm like, surprise me. So she found a 6-pack of summer ale in January, which happened to be at the time my favorite brew. And that was it right there. I said, that's it. We're in love.
I feel kind of
you
the
and I
same
are
way
going to
about
have
Boston
children.
Calling. It kicks off the summer for me, so
Yeah.
it's great. You see it happening. People are outside.
Cheers.
Summer ale with lemon
Good
zest, right?
times. Yeah.
Right? And for me, I drank this a lot when it first came out. This was sort of the go-to. And then I think with anything, if you sort of becomes consistent, you become a little bit tired of it. But in the can, there's something very different about it.
I just heard that outside. Some photographer guy said, my friends and I have this theory that the draft is like a lot less lemony than the can. I don't know if it's true. I mean, we have to do more research, obviously. That's
Yeah,
We may have to. That means that we may have to leave here and go.
go drink some draft.
Go drink some drafts. Yeah.
It's a terrible job.
But the craft beer in a can, you see it obviously a lot more now. And is there a reasoning behind it? Is it cost effective? I mean, wow.
Yeah, it's actually not, because you have to get separate machinery to do the canning versus the bottling. So you've got all these small brewers that have been investing heavily in the bottling, and for them to do canning, extra cost, thousands of dollars. I'd say Oscar Blues pioneered this.
That's what I was going to say. Dale's
Like
Pale Ale,
decades
Oscar
ago,
Blues. Yeah.
out in Denver, and they just kind of ran with it. I think they took all the arguments against it, changing the taste, and just said, no, it's more portable. There's less sunlight going through than with bottles. Like, why wouldn't you do this? And sort of now you're seeing it come about. Sam Adams themselves just started canning March 2013, so now that it's become acceptable, you're going to see a lot more of it. It's great for camping, beach,
No, absolutely. It's
tailgating.
There's nothing like a cold can of beer. You know what
So
I mean?
love it. I love this trend. I think it's
That's great.
Makes the koozie much more effective as well. You're not going to cleanse your palate?
No,
You're
I'm
waiting for
doing what I
shanty
did
between-
last year.
All right, whatever.
It's like I'll eat it at the end.
Keeping the tradition alive.
I'm focused on beer right now. I don't want this to change the taste of anything.
It's just
It's been
delicious.
working pretty well.
So I had my first taste of this a little bit earlier, first time ever from the Sam's. I mean, this is the first year for this, right?
I think it might have been out last
Last year?
But I mean, I'm seeing it everywhere now.
It's super popular. It's not available down anywhere really anymore out on the concourse.
Yeah, so Porch Rocker, this is like a shandy type style of beer. It's the lager and it's also lemon juice. Cool thing about this is it's just very like sunny. It tastes sunny. It tastes like summer. So it's a great summer beer. If you're going to any sort of event where you have to bring your own beer, just bring this. People will love it.
Shandy style. So this is the
I really like
summertime
this
beer right here.
I mean, that is just so refreshing.
That's pretty
It's delicious.
good.
Yeah.
Yum.
So I'd say if you definitely don't even like Bud Light, if you don't like beer at all, this sort of tastes like juice. So it's a good entryway into that.
It's out of all the shandies that I've had too, this is the one that I like the most because the lemon flavor tastes real. Where like some of them,
Synthetic.
it's like it's kind of tastes synthetic. But I mean, but I like those too. But this just it's just really fresh.
So there's a brand called Time Traveler, and they make some great shandies. They've got a grapefruit one out. Harpoon's got a great grapefruit shandy called Big Squeeze.
I had that
really
too
love
for the first time the other day.
But what's interesting is I was drinking shandy in the fall because Time Traveler has a pumpkin flavored one, and it kind of tastes like the Harry Potter pumpkin juice that they talk about in the movie. Like, to me, that's what it would taste like if that was a real thing. And so it's wonderful. I've been hoarding it ever since the fall. I think I have one bottle left.
You know
That's
that's
really
a good beer when you're like going out and buying it whenever you see it and just like storing it.
Like an alcoholic squirrel. Oh yeah, gotta do the brownie.
So right after this, Paul, Tiger Man Woe is going to be here being interviewed. Saw their set down there. Local guys from Lynn, Massachusetts.
Yeah,
Didn't know that.
great bands.
Yeah, I'm looking forward
A lot
to
of
talking
energy. One of the first bands on today really like started things off.
Did you eat your brownie?
I told you I'm eating it at the end after we drink.
So
this.
after, I thought you were
Yeah,
going to eat it before. So
no,
it's like truly
no.
it's just your dessert. It's just a snack after the
I'm a little
dessert.
concerned. I've got like brown in my teeth now. I'm just gonna be like,
Oh, you do?
oh no.
No, I'm kidding.
All right, this is the traditional. right?
Cheers.
The Angry Orchard. It's like apple juice.
Wow, so this is the first time I've had the Angry Orchard crisp apple. That's good.
Oh, it's still, I mean, come on. This is the hair of the dog right here.
Oh.
I mean, this is awesome.
There's no doubt.
I feel like ciders are usually responsible for my worst hangovers. You know, you try to go, you're like, oh, I'll just have a cider. Oh, I'll just have another cider. And then 7 ciders later, you wake up and you don't know what happened.
But this tastes like, again, like the freshness, the crispness.
Yeah.
It tastes like just like your regular cider base, where some ciders have like an apple juice base taste to them.
I think they use Fuji apples for this, which is that's a very mellow, a little bit sweet, but not overly sweet apple to have.
But there's been some exotic things happening with the ciders, right? I mean, a lot of different combinations and styles of cider. I mean, has that been happening the last couple of years? What is that?
People are putting yeast strains in them. You know, they're putting sour fruits in them. Again, you have your base cider. I know Bantam has like Wonderkind, which is their flagship, and then they've sort of experimented with other ingredients. So it's always great to have, you know, if you want your standard, you can go for that. If you want, I know Down East has a really good cranberry one that they do, also in cans, so that's great also for just taking it to go. I love this. It's, again, an alternate universe of like, okay, I'm out drinking, but I don't have to have this heavy IPA if I don't want
absolutely.
to.
Absolutely.
So now we get to the end. We have 4 of these that are for display. And we will start with Juliana. Which one of those beers would you like to have
Oh my gosh.
as your beer?
As a walk-away trophy?
Yeah, a walkaway trophy from this tasting.
That's full?
I think I'd go
full.
for the summer ale, honestly.
All right.
Well,
I
you
think it's
deserve
a
it.
Good hybrid between the Porch Rocker and the Boston Lager.
Rattey, I will give you the second
Oh,
pick.
yeah? You're a gentleman and a scholar, sir. I'm going to go with the shanty.
All right, cool. And that leaves both these to me.
Oh, you get dose.
Nice.
Well played, sir.
Like how I did that.
Well
and you got
played.
your brownie.
strategy.
And I have the brownie.
And
I'm
dessert.
set for the rest of the day.
All right, look
Look
you.
at this. Well, Juliana, thank you for doing this again. We'll do it September Boston Calling.
Yeah, Labor Day weekend perhaps. We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see who's here at that time.
Yeah,
But it's
we
always
should
a
have.
pleasure.
We should have. My guess is we'll have the Sam Adams Fall Offering,
Pumpkin
whatever
Fest?
that is.
The pumpkin
Maybe
ale?
the pumpkin beer. I
Oh,
don't know.
that would be amazing.
So-
I'd be all about it.
All right.
It's amazing, but depressing when those beers come out. You're like, oh, it's all over. Summer's done.
right,
It's the
cool.
beginning of the end.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna be snowing in a month.
Oh no.
But
Let's not talk about that
yeah,
now.
let's not talk about
Not
that.
while the sun is shining and the bands are playing.
Yeah. I'm sorry I brought this whole thing
That's
down.
all right. That's all right. Well, you know what? We got Tiger Man Woe ready to step on
Yes.
to the interview stage with Henry Santoro, maybe Julie Kramer. A lot of great bands continuing. Thank you, Juliana.
Thank you.
Pleasure as always.
Thank you, Paul.
It's good to be here.
All right, and check in with us all day, streaming live. You've watched the traditional beer tasting from Boston Calling. See ya.